really and truly intrigued by my experience as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, because I really and truly felt like my family had put the Watchtower to its truest test. And I must admit, they passed with flying colors, because, you know, we actually thought this was the truth based on our own personal experience in the organization. And it wasn't until years later that we stumbled across, you know, the information about this not being the truth. And it was really difficult at first to accept, but throughout the years of dealing with many different congregations, and this is after I got married, that I started to see things start to crumble. But for the most part, as a child growing up in this religion, I encountered no problems, no issues with anyone. The elders in our congregation were wonderful. My family, we moved quite a bit because my father was in the military. And so we lived in quite a few places, including Puerto Rico. And everywhere we went, my mom, you know, contacted the witnesses or went to the brothers in the congregation. And when we went to our new congregation, we were well accepted, well received, never had any issues. Because we were always the only African Americans in our congregation, we experienced the cultural differences, and that was about it. But other than that, we got along pretty well with the friends in our congregation, especially since my mother was married to a man in the military, and we were considered fatherless children because our father was not one of Jehovah's Witnesses. But the elders' wives, you know, took me, my mom, and my sister under their wings, and we really enjoyed being part of our congregations, to what I can see. And I really believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that my mother was very active out in field service. And even though she didn't sign up to regular Pioneer, she was putting in Pioneer hours, you know? So, you know, she was hanging out with what we considered the cream of the crop in the congregation, the pioneers, elders' wives, all of that, you know. So we never experienced any problems. I mean, one congregation I remember that I thought people were putting their name in a hat and getting it drawn out to get this fellowship, because I didn't know how it worked. I was 10 years old, and it seemed like every week somebody in our congregation was getting disfellowshipped, and I was sitting in my seat one day thinking, oh my God, I hope they don't call my name. But of course, I had no idea how it worked. I didn't know what was going on in the congregation. It didn't really affect me. All I know is my name was never called, thank God. Anyway, it's just amazing how this organization works, and the different things that people have to go through and endure throughout their lives and dealing with the organization. But I just wanted to say that I had no problems with this religion. I didn't have any personal issues, you know, growing up in this religion and stuff. So for me to find out this is not the truth, it wasn't because I was having some issues with anybody personally, but like I said, I did, after I got married, I got a chance to see more into the organization, because with my husband being an elder and an ex-Bethelite, he talked about a lot of things and helped me to appreciate the inner workings of the organization. And I was privy to know about issues in the congregation, being an elder's wife. And so I saw things that did not, you know, look too good, you know, and other people may not have seen it because they weren't married to an elder, they didn't know it, and nobody shared that information with them. But I knew it, and my husband was a little frustrated with some of the things that was going on in the congregation, and his frustration was mainly the elder body, seeing these grown men act like children on the elder body. And it was just really sad, you know, how people's lives are at stake, and these brothers are acting like kids on a school playground, you know. And so that's all I want to say is mainly for those of you who are listening to this video, who are still going to the congregation, to the Kingdom Hall, that you think that because everything is going well in your life and you're not having any issues with anyone per se, or there's not, you don't want to rock the boat, as it were. But just because there's no issues going on in your life, just because, your friends that you hang out with are doing right by you, or you're enjoying your little clique that you're in, does not mean that this is the truth. I lived it. I know that. I thought it was the truth, later to discover that it wasn't. So I'm just saying, don't fool yourself. Don't sit at the Kingdom Hall week in and week out, not making preparations for your future, all to find out that there is no end that's coming in your lifetime, and that all those people that quit jobs to pioneer, to go to Bethel, to forego your education, to work these menial jobs that don't really pay anything, later on to realize that you're 60, 70, 80 years old now, needing an income that you don't have, and there is no end coming, and you have no children, and who's going to take care of you now? Because as you can see, the society is kicking people out of Bethel now. Yeah, people are being asked to go home, and those people were told that they chose the best portion in life because they chose the full-time service. And now, what's their payback? What's happening to them now? They are being paid with a see you later, goodbye, it was good to know you. That's what they're getting paid back with. They're not getting any compensation. They don't have any monies that they paid into Social Security. So of course they have nothing, So let's not get all this twisted. Let's not say, oh, Kathy, you're just sitting here making a big old speech because the society did you wrong. Well, actually, I did work a job. I was not a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife, as it were. I went out and I worked a job. So fortunately, I will get Social Security or a pension. I'm just trying to tell you to make sure that you get your fair share and get your due when it's time. See, I'm not bitter because I was fortunate. I think I was one of the fortunate ones after leaving the Watchtower, because I got a chance to go back to school, graduated from college, I got a pretty decent job, and I feel like I've made some strides. I'm very happy with the decision to leave and my decision to do the things that I did after I left. And I feel like the reason why I'm here on camera right now is because I have an obligation. And that obligation is to give back, to give to people knowledge about this organization so that they can properly prepare themselves. Because I'm not here saying you should leave Watchtower. I'm not doing that. Because people have to make that decision on their own. But what I am saying is, for those of you that choose to remain in the organization and stay in the organization because this is what you want to do, I'm simply saying you need to go out and get a job. You need to get your education. You need to do something to prepare yourself for a time that if you're still living 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now and the end has not come, you'll have some money in the bank. Retirement, Social Security, something. Not just a broken promise and a broken dream. I know when people are young, a lot of times they say they don't even think about getting old or dying, because to a young person, life, they're invincible. Nothing's going to happen to me right now. And so they don't make preparations. It's not until it's too late that you realize, oh my God, I should have done something. I should have made some changes. I should have did this, did that, whatever you want to do. And then when you're a little older and You may not be moving as fast. You may not be thinking as fast. You may not feel like sitting in a classroom. It's at those moments when you realize that you should have done something. So I'm just simply saying, check your financial pulse. Make sure that you're on track, that should something happen, you got something in the bank to fall back on. Don't keep looking for an end to save you, because it just may not come in your lifetime. And I'm just putting it out there. This has been Kathy Thomas with The Critical Thought.